All right, I'm gonna open the meeting of the Stockbridge Board of Selectmen and at 8 AM and turn it over to the board for them to reorganize, establish their chair and the rest, so. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, and thank you everybody who's participating. So, when do you want to start?
Chairman,
You want to-
nominations for,
Nomination for chairman.
It's up to you guys. I'm happy to do it. I mean, is that,
I don't mind doing it if you want to do it.
no, I'd be happy to do it.
Okay.
And I think
Sure
as we
thing.
rotate, so, yeah.
Okay. Make a motion that Patrick is chairman.
And I'll make a second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's your meeting,
Okay.
Chairman.
So, first on the agenda is reorganization of the board. I'm gonna have some comments on that at the end of the meeting. But let's start with the project updates.
All right, so just to update people, for the board, for everybody. A week ago, we finished everything on the Larry Wog Bridge, so that
Yay.
project is now completed, close out. There might be a few small punch item things that need to be done, but nothing substantial going forward. Averick Road Bridge construction continues, and that should be completed by the end of June, early July, so we're a little bit behind as far as timing, but overall, nothing, we're talking only maybe a month.
Okay.
So other than that, it's in good shape. Bids for the Soldier Monument are out, so those will be coming back on June 1st. And then we have the sludge bid for the wastewater treatment plant that is out. Those will be coming back on June 3rd. And the bids are going out for the road work under Chapter 90. And we'll be putting out the Chime Tower bids midsummer with a fall start. And then, of course, we'll be working on some of the other projects that were approved at town meeting.
Yeah.
We're,
Can we review for folks who weren't there, second homeowners who maybe haven't had a chance to watch it? Can you just review, especially the 4 million, what project we expect to do next?
so the first thing we're gonna do right off the $4 million borrowing is execute contract with Foresight to begin the design phase for the Chapter 85 review for the Tuckerman Bridge.
Okay.
That's gonna be the first one. The second one will be, and DC Prickett's gonna be going out with the pump station bid again. I saw that email, so that'll be going out shortly. We'll be coming back probably at the end of June, with us being able to award it right in the first week of July with the money that is in there. Then from there, we've already started the Chapter 85 review on the second Averick Road.
Good.
And we will then look for design for the salt shed. So all those projects are all getting lined up nice and neat to move forward.
And when do you think you'll hear on the small bridge grant for the second Everett Road Bridge?
It depends right now. I would say that we're gonna hear, so we'll hear first that we have the full design costs, one, that's the 89,000. Then when we finish the design, we'll apply for the $500,000 small bridge one.
Okay.
So we're trying to line it up. If everything goes according to plans, within 2 years, we'll have both bridges done.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's where we are. One thing I'd like to say in the project updates, as many people, well, some people may be aware and some didn't, is our town clerk, Terry Emilini, she was quarantined with COVID last Friday, so she wasn't there for the elections or for town meeting. But Terry did a great job of organizing us. We kept in constant communication over the weekend. She snuck herself in to print off everything we needed. She sent me everything that needed to be printed. Everything done. I have to, thank Mike Blay. He came in early for the elections. Teresa Zanetti, she did a lot of work to make sure everything happened. Almost all the staff chipped in to make sure that both events happened. Marie Ryan she's the town administrator of West Stockbridge, and she was for many years the town clerk down in Great Barrington, assisted us with the election, and I'd like to say a special thank you to her. So overall, I think it was a great team effort. And I think when you have adversity, that's when your team really can shine and just compliments the entire team here at Town Hall. Because I think for most people, other than Terry not being there, I think by working together, we were able to do it pretty seamlessly.
I echo that. I want to thank everybody for doing all that. It's very much appreciated. Got a good crew here, good employees.
Good. Let's see, how's the dredging, engineering going? Is that on your list of?
I didn't have that on the list
Okay,
yet.
okay.
I will have something for the
Okay.
next meeting if that's what you want.
Great, sure. Any other projects you guys want to talk about?
Nope, it's covered everything on my end.
All right, let's keep going. Who's next? Chief?
Yes. Where would you like me to go?
You can sit here.
I don't know if I'll fit in that chair with my full costume on. Let's see here.
Good morning, chief.
There you go.
Barely. I didn't fall
You
out.
just can't get up, that's all.
Oh, the walkie-talkie.
Want to grab one of the side chairs? Yeah, you forget with all the gear.
All right. So I just want to put a couple things on record here. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Jamie, congratulations on your election win. And on behalf of our department, I want to wish you the best of luck and all the
Thank you.
success in your term. In wake of our town meeting, I want to say thank you, big thank you. Jim Ballfance is on, I see. So if he could pass on the message, thank you to the Finance Committee, the board, the Select Board, the Michael Canales, of course, and their town residents for all their support of our department throughout the town meeting. So let's see here. We have Chad Heath. Officer Heath has completed the inaugural Bridge Academy that was set up through the new police reform. So he completed that back on May 9th, I believe, May 12th, somewhere in there. Anyway, congratulations to him. I have applied for a reimbursement grant for some of the expense of that. It's a $3,000 grant, first come, first serve. So I'm hoping we were one of the first ones to get it in. So hopefully we'll get a little money back on that. Normal business as usual for us, dealing with crashes, speeding, alarms, medical calls, business as usual there, and getting busier by the day as we move into some more nice weather. Upcoming events, we have, we have the Memorial Day Parade coming back, which is good. We're all excited for that. We're fully staffed for traffic control there. This Friday, we're having it's an informal type of thing. It's a kind of a car parade. So Chris Greendale has invited a bunch of people. There's some sort of car event going on at Blantyre at Miraval this week and this weekend. So he has invited, I believe, the Aston Martin Club to his place for a luncheon on Friday. They will be leaving there at 4:00 and it'll be kind of a parade, 50 to 70 cars heading from North Church Street up Prospect Hill out onto 183 up through Lenox and back to Miraval.
Chuck, do you have an Aston Martin? Should we maybe go join the parade?
So I don't know if they're vintage or they're newer, it might be a mix, I'm not sure, but it would probably be neat to see if anybody
What
wanted.
time is that?
That starts at 4:00. They're going to leave the property at 4:00. So if somebody wanted to go to the causeway and park and watch the cars go by,
And is re-inviting other old car owners, or is it mostly just that club?
it's a closed event
Yeah, okay. Just
for
curious.
them, yes.
There should be no issue.
No, we're going to provide traffic control and an escort
It'll be quick.
for them. Yeah. No, it's just, they're just driving from his house to there, but if anybody wanted to, park along the road and watch some nice cars go by.
Yeah.
On Sunday, we have the Arlo Guthrie Garbage Trail Walk. That starts at 10:00 from the old Alice's Restaurant. So they'll be walking, and it's to raise money, I believe, for Huntington's disease, to fight
good.
Huntington's disease. That's been going on for a number of years.
And what time is that?
That starts at 10.
Where do they walk from?
They start at the Teresa's
Yeah.
Cafe, which is
One in the back.
Alice's restaurant, and they'll walk all the way down to the church in Great Barrington.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be a nice hot day too.
It's going to be warm. Yeah. So that's always a fun event. We set up in our town, they have the old jail door, from the cell that was in the movie. And they set that up down in front of the old town hall. And I go down there and take pictures with the participants,
Great.
just like the movie. So, let's see. We will be sitting down with Tanglewood soon to start planning public safety for that, for the season up there. We'll be meeting soon with Marian Fathers for their Encuentro Latino event that comes up in early August. So just a mini version of Mercy Sunday, really.
That's very,
About 80 buses or so.
Right.
5,000 people. So, we have 2 of our 3 radar trailers are out. We have one in Interlaken and up by the beach in that area, as requested.
they keep yelling at me when I go by.
What's that?
Signs keep yelling at me when I go by.
What do they say?
Keep telling me slow down.
Slow down?
Well, it's- I gotta get somewhere.
You want the message that says thank you. That means you're going the right speed.
No, those are great.
So-
They do.
Yeah, they work, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
So the 2 newer ones are out. The older one is still under our carport. It needs to be upgraded. So they've sent us a new computer panel. We have to replace. Apparently 3G is obsolete and they're going to do away with it by the end of the year. So we have to update that computer board to 4G, 5G capability. So as soon as that's done, we'll be putting that out down on East Main Street. And that's about all I have. Well, we have that co-responder thing that we were working on, Mike, with Lee and Lennox. It's kind of got put on the back burner. Lee's had a lot of stuff going on over there with that missing woman. And of course it's a town meeting season, just a busy time of year. So we're going to start getting back onto that, and we're hoping to get up and running sometime at the beginning of the new fiscal year. So we have a job description made up. We have a budget for the position set up, and we'll be meeting hopefully next week or so. As soon as I have a meeting date, Mike, I'll send that to you. And so that's still moving along, but not as fast as we wanted to. But
So just maybe explain a little, because I hadn't run it by the board yet, because we only had that one meeting and
Okay.
it sort of went.
Yeah.
Exactly what
okay.
the
So-
program is.
So the co-responder program, it comes in different forms depending on where you are. Some towns use it, well, some places use it differently than we plan on using it. Ours is going to be kind of all encompassing. It's for mental health services.
Good.
So we'll be using it on the police side to help us deal with on-site calls for people dealing with mental health issues. It'll also be used in conjunction with Tri-Town Health. So
Exactly, is it? We're talking about.
responder,
Position.
the position, yes. So it'll be a mental health professional.
Okay.
But it'll all run through Tri-Town Health.
So you have a call and there's some communication to Tri-Town and says, I need somebody, and it's 11 at night and someone's answering the phone and that person gets out of bed and, meets you
Yes,
there.
so there will be an on-call aspect to it. Of course, it's only one person, so we have to be flexible with their personal needs as well. But yeah, that's kind of how it's going to look. But they will also run programs through Tri-Town Health, which is a little different than, say, Pittsfield's co-responder program. I think they're just dedicated to the police only. Our person's going to work for Tri-Town Health and
Good.
help them out as well with, hoarding and things like that wouldn't need police intervention.
Right.
So it's, like I say, all encompassing. It'll be a big job.
There's future funding coming down the road. We would like to get this up and running and get this in a position where we can, once again, we talked about it with ARPA, is trying to use our money to start up programs that then possibly could be parlayed into additional funding sources like we did with Tri-Town for their nutrition program. So we could get on the federal nutrition one and then they can receive, I think, close to $200,000 annually for that type of This is a similar thing. This would get us started. What we will do, obviously be coming back to the board with the details. And I thought we were about a couple months ago, but right, things sort of.
Things
just
kind of
life got in the way, over with the whole thing and we just haven't been, 3 towns need to coordinate it. But the idea is I would probably be proposing to take our initial investment and do it through the ARPA funding that is available to this board to use. So, but as we get
What's
closer.
the order of
we'll
magnitude
watch it.
of that?
If I remember right, it was around 40,000.
You have 42,000, I think would be our share.
Okay.
And that includes all benefits,
That's everything.
everything.
one
to have
person.
a position. Because when you think about the
Yeah, no, I
cost
get
of the
it, yeah.
position. plus
So down
benefits.
the road, if things progress, we could always add.
We did meet with some state officials that came out and talked about grants.
Yeah.
And there's a big push on this
Oh, there
stuff
is,
right now.
definitely.
And so there's a lot of grant money out there. So that's one of the things is as we move in, like Mike said, we're hoping to parlay our initial investment into some grant money to fund this. And if that's the case, they're giving out money for this. So yeah, we could expand if the need.
Good start.
Yeah,
Is there any coordination with like the Green Center or is this something just with Tri-Town?
It's with just Tri-Town
Okay.
right now, but we do use the Breen Center right now. And this is, the genesis of this was, of course, the big push through police reform regarding mental health. But also some of the lack of services we have in Berkshire County, to no one's fault. It's just the lack of people for the jobs and the high demand that everybody needs. So we needed services about a year ago or so and couldn't get them in a timely manner. So we kind of got together and Lee was experiencing the same thing and Lennox was too. So we said we should just get our own and we don't have to worry about being delayed. So.
All right.
And we'll come with a full proposal to the board.
Yeah.
And when we get to a point a little further along.
Right.
Far enough along to sort of, other than what Chief brought up.
Right.
That's great.
That's all I have.
So on the Tanglewood staffing for, and other, kind of summer events, with the reduction in the auxiliary forces, are the sheriffs making that up? Or are we asking our guys or women to make it up? How are we approaching?
So traditionally in Stockbridge, starting back with Chief Wilcox, Stockbridge used to handle all the traffic and the security up there. And it's too much
Right.
for us, our little department. So he farmed that out to the sheriff's department and they've done that now for years.
And do you oversee and manage it or do they?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so with our bylaw that we instituted a couple of years ago, the public events or the events bylaw. So everything runs through the police department as far as public safety and staffing for that. So we request that the sheriff's department take care of that. So now as it's set up, we have state police that will patrol the inside of the events. Sheriff's department takes care of all the traffic control. So we meet on that yearly, decide what we need to do and if we need to increase, decrease, regular public safety meeting.
Good.
Yeah.
Anybody out in the audience have any questions? And that also goes for the project updates. I was remiss in not asking.
No hands up?
Okay. All right, thanks.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
Michael, you're up.
Good luck. Tough crowd.
Yeah.
I'll echo what some of Daryl said. Congratulations,
Thank
Jamie.
you.
One of the nice things with our new town administrator is we have,
Who is that now?
we have public works meetings every month. So Mike knows exactly what's going on with us. So it's been really nice and informative. So, we're all together, water, sewer, highway with the salt shed project because we're gonna try to get some type of, structure in there for the water and sewer and highway, to house some of our equipment that sits out in the weather. Just like a three-sided type thing. And Tuckerman Bridge is another one with the water system, old water pipes down there that we're gonna, kind of started this whole thing, I guess. So we're working with, Foresight on that. We had recently had a little bit of an issue with, our raw water main from the reservoir down to the treatment plant. And we've pretty much figured out, and it's all working back to normal. Our intake structure out in the middle of the lake was compromised with die off of weeds and stuff from the winter die off, and had our divers that we use to inspect all our tankage come out and clean it for us and locate it because we lost our mooring ball last winter. So that's all been fixed up. Our forestry management plan, we received a grant from DCR for that to pay. They're going to pay for our forester. All the field work has been done on that. The plan is just getting written. I think it has to be in before the end of July, but DCR approved all that. So that's moving forward.
And what is that going to, is there what does that plan entail for
The
next?
watershed management plan goes over issues with beavers, the forestry itself, the land, the tributaries that feed the reservoir, logging operations that we do throughout the 370 acres that we own up there.
And what do you think you're going to do this year?
We have been trying to sell a piece of about 30, 40 acres of aspen, poplar. And I was just talking to our forester the other day, and he's pretty confident we have a guy outfit that wants to buy it. The demand for, believe it or not, the logs is high right now. So, and we've been sitting on it for 3 years.
And just explain the rationale of why that's important.
Timber stand improvement is basically what we do. We do a 30% cut of what's there in the forest, so they don't just die off and fall down type of thing. And we'll go out and replant seedlings anywhere, depending on the size of the plot that we log. We'll go out and put anywhere from 300 to 500 new seedlings in of various hardwoods.
And so just to be clear to everybody, obviously we're not clear cutting those 30 to 40 acres. We're just simply thinning them out and keeping the forest healthy.
Yep, taking out the logs that are, somewhat marketable, and there's usually a good amount of firewood that comes out of there too. Trees that are just banged up or,
Right.
not gonna amount to much. And it's not about the money, it's about improving the timber stand up there and the habitat. And so that's been going on for a long time. And I'll just go over the process really quick. So our forester goes out, he'll mark a stand of timber. He'll send that I go over all that with him. We kind of pick out what spot we want to go and log. And then that goes to the cutting plan goes to DCR, Tom Ryan, and he goes out and inspects the whole cut himself. All the tributaries are marked. That's the whole cutting plan entails all that, where the stream crossings are and whatnot. And then he approves that. He sends us a placard that we have to put up at the log header. And we put it out to bid to loggers that we want to work with, which town council 20 years ago said was fine for us to do. And it goes out to bid. The person with the highest price gets approved by the selectmen. I think usually about a $5,000 bond gets posted by the company. And the selectmen sign the contract and get the bond posted, and then they start to work.
When you say you want to work with, what's the criteria?
Jeff's been working with loggers throughout the Berkshires for 30 years. So ones we don't have to babysit really, really frequently, which then, when Jeff has to babysit, that money comes out of, so we work with quite a few very reputable loggers in the area that do really nice work and we don't have to worry about, especially being a sensitive area around our watershed. So that's the way that all works. With the town meeting, like Daryl said, thank the taxpayers. Well, I like to thank the water users because that's what our income is based off of, and our water surplus. So we have quite a few projects upcoming with all that. I've started looking into equipment trailers, which are, that stuff's really hard to find. So we're kind of looking to get equipment trailer prices and all the other articles that passed as well. So Dave Prickett Engineering will be working on our 20-year master plan that is required by DEP. I notified him that, that the article passed, so that'll be a lot of involvement with that, going over information with them. And the other articles that were there will be just ongoing.
And there's some kind of staffing plan too that you guys have to submit or something like that?
We have to, for DEP, per DEP mandate or requirement, we have to send in by October 31st, I believe, a succession plan with the DEP for the water system operators. As most everybody knows, we are, Tony, Mark and I are on the water and sewer. Altogether, we're all multi-licensed. So there's a big retirement era that's coming in right now in water and sewer operators in the state. And within the next 10 years, Mark, Tony, and I will be retiring. So the state is really worried about cross-trained water and sewer users. So we have to get a plan into them on how the town is going to look into replacing us. They want to know, because it's a really big deal. Let alone just finding a water operator or sewer operator, but the cross-training is a big deal. So that's something that's on the radar, and we have to sit down with the commission, the Water and Sewer Commission, and get our heads wrapped around it and get something into the state.
Okay. And do you anticipate then, obviously we're going to need to bring on some folks over the next.
Yeah, we are.
12 months.
Yeah, probably within the next year or two, we're going to have to start thinking about a fourth employee to,
or maybe even fifth.
get their feet wet. And one of the biggest things, and I've talked to Mike and Tony about this, is you can get the employee that's going to learn the systems and do the work, but to be the primary operator of the water or wastewater, there's a lot of stress that comes along with it. It's a 365, 24-hour a day job. You go home at 3:30, your day doesn't end. It's every day, all day. So there's, when you can't get raw water to the water treatment plant at half the flow that you're used to, and you have to operate the plant in certain ways, or sewer mains collapse and they're 15 feet deep in Main Street, you got to scramble and got to have a plan for every little thing. So that's we can get a good employee to go out and do the work, but we have to find somebody that can handle the stress of the jobs as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that we move forward with that. But and then the daily grind of water and the treatment plant and the grass and the mowing and weed whacking of fire hydrants. It's all here. So.
And how was the phase 3 and 4, well, that's really more, that stuff done. But in terms of the pumping station, you put it out, out to bid because.
That's Tony as well.
Okay.
Wrong guy.
Pump water too, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we currently also, speaking of pump stations, the DEP Donna Brewer's working with DEP on this, the town council. We have the old DeSisto School pumping station. The DEP is requiring us to have an agreement with the water pumping station up there. So we have a hand in making sure the people up there have consistent water and.
You say the people up there, is it just for DeSisto?
Well, no, because DeSisto used to own houses across the street. The houses across the street used to be owned by DeSisto, but they're private homes now, and one of them, I think two of them are condos. So the DEP regulation is written that we are responsible for the water quality of every last free flowing tap in the water system. So they want some interaction and an agreement with the 3537 Interlake and owners, Patrick Sheehan, which we've been in contact. Patrick's really nice, and we've worked with him hand in hand since he's bought the place. So we just have to, Donna's kind of figuring all that out with DEP and what they really want. So, and I check in with her every now and then to see where they're at. But so I think that's about it, other than the daily grind.
Anybody got anything else? Anybody out there want to chime in? All right, I think it's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're last.
Morning.
Good
Jamie,
morning.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So sewer department stuff, kind of just, Mike kind of gave you a little overview of the two bids we're going to have out again. We're going to have the rebid for the Park Street Pump Station. And obviously, we're already out to bid with the sludge hauling contract, which will be opened first Friday in June. Basically, normal routine maintenance to the wastewater treatment plant and the pump stations. Mowing, we mow like 7 acres down at the plant. We, this spring have done our routine spring maintenance to the collection system in the downtown area. Jetted all that. And a few suspect areas outlying that we've had problems with before to kind of get ahead of that curve so we don't have problems over the Memorial Day weekend or leading up to 4th of July. We keep an eye on to occasionally as well. This year was a relicense renewal year for water sewer personnel in the state of Massachusetts. So we're all relicensed. We got our training contact certificates and we're re-upped with the state for another 2 years. So that's kind of behind us, if you will. It was nice one good thing that came from COVID was the state of Massachusetts went mostly remote with all the training now. So you can really find classes that are short-term, 3-4 hours at a clip, right at your desk. You just go on Zoom and it's been really nice not to have to go down to exit 10A to do the training on the Pike. We were issued a new discharge permit in 2022 that went into effect at the treatment plant on April 1st. Most of the parameters are the same and we are able to meet all the parameters with no problem with the plant currently. So that's good. The phase 3 that you just talked about was approved at town meeting.
Yeah.
The money was approved through the sewer users. And I have instructed the engineering firm to proceed with that.
Okay.
To get that started.
You can start before July 1st.
Well, no.
Well, we're getting all the paperwork and everything
Okay.
lined up, but we can't execute the contract till after July.
Yeah, the contract can't be executed, but I'm trying to get him thinking in that direction that we can get on their radar as far as scheduling.
That's right.
Which probably won't be till after July. I know. And that's about it.
And then the phase 4 one, did we fund that too?
So we funded phase 3 and we also funded the component where they're going to come up with prioritization.
Right.
Right.
That was,
We have a document. We have been, he did give the town a document on that. We just haven't, I think I'm going to bring that up at our next monthly meeting so we can.
wastewater.
Yeah.
For the Water and Sewer Commission.
Yeah.
Right.
No, at our meeting.
Our public.
meeting.
Our internal. meeting.
Yeah. And then you in turn can review it and I guess present it to these guys if you want to, or we can tweak it.
Right.
With Dave Prickett, accordingly, but we'll go for phase 3 first and then.
Right. I wanted to just tell you that Claire Naylor, I don't know what her new last name is, but I went to high school with her. She had great things to say about you working with Betsy McKiernan's property. And I want to just pass that along, that she thought you were really great and really helpful.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of potential properties in town with that? Is that sort of a unique problem, or is that something that we can anticipate having more of? Just to kind of back up, they had a septic system that's failing. Mrs. McKiernan is 85 now at Campbell Farms. Went to get sell the property, can't get a Title V, so they're talking to you guys about the town about possibly running sewer from Beechwood to Interlake and Crossroad, and we approved at town meeting the potential of the easement or whatever the right-of-way issues were.
So that's kind of a unique situation right there at the corner because of it's mostly, the whole property is almost a wetland.
Right.
So the only options are a sealed tight tank for their septic.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
And, or hooking to town sewer, which is a considerable distance down the north on the Bull Road at the Beechwood driveway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think, what the engineers is going to propose. It has proposed.
Right.
I haven't heard from him in a month or two, so I don't know where they are with the design yet. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that needs to be all approved by the Water Sewer Commission, myself.
Yeah.
We'll keep you guys looped in as that progresses. So that's where that is. It's kind of.
So you don't feel like that, I'm not that familiar with the actual property. You don't feel that was sort of due to changing conditions in terms of like the added rain we had last year and all that? It's not like kind of a trend.
I think that was just the property was just.
Okay.
Where it was situated, it called for that to be the best option, if you will.
Yeah. Okay. All right, good.
That's about it. And we, as Michael said, we just continue the day-to-day slog on.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
Always an issue sometime during the day.
Always.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
And then we have some permits. We have one day wine malt license for a wedding at Chesterwood, 4-11, July 2nd.
Need a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we accept the license for Justin.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and now you're going to talk about website stuff a little bit.
Yep. So we've been looking at website redesign for the town's website. We did get 2 proposals in from our current vendor, Mungie, and then also from Civic Plus. At this, it's the board's decision at this point. Our recommendation is Civic Plus. Myself, Teresa, and Kim Shaw from the police department met with and have gone over what we're looking to do. We received both proposals, and I have Civic Plus here. They can walk through theirs, and then if you guys want, we can have Monday come in later, or you could have go with ours, and I'll also walk you through both proposals. So, but we feel like our recommendation from our group is that Civics Plus is the better option at this point for the town.
Okay.
And I believe it's Ryan.
Caitlin.
Ryan Anderson and Caitlin Berry from Civic Plus.
We're here. Well, good morning, everyone. We really appreciate you. I've got myself and Ryan. I really want to commend the team. Mike, Kim, really worked hard. I think it's Teresa or Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa.
Teresa was in on a call as well. And we started talking really early February and then through March, and have just stayed in contact and understand there's a lot of challenges when it deals with communication with your constituents, and wanted to have an easy to use platform that is cost effective were the huge priorities. And really what we champions ourselves at Civic Plus is the citizen experience. And, unfortunately, sometimes the perception in local government is that it's when you go to get something done, it can be difficult. And by bringing services online and providing the ease of access to information, we really want to change that persona to help the citizens really have confidence when they go to their website, to be able to get the information that they need to get quickly, to get the information they need to get done, so they're not burning up with phone calls. I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know what's the cost of negativity. If somebody is frustrated because they can't get to what they want to get, and then they call somebody, and then they complain, and then that just kind of turns over. But if we can flip that where it's a positive experience and people are pleased, of course, you're always going to have your naysayers out there that when you serve the public, that's always going to be there. But trying to improve that experience, I think, will help everyone all around, and having an easy to use platform. And that's what Civic Plus has been known for the last 20 years. We work with about 7,500 local government agencies across the US and Canada. We've been in business over 20 years with 550 employees. And we're awarded for customer service, which is you don't always see in the tech field. That's a big part of what we do. We received an award that's called the Stevie Award. And that's a huge accomplishment in that we received gold this year. And there are only 2 companies that received that globally. And we were one of the 2 international tech companies that received that award for customer support. So very excited about that, and very excited about the potential partnership with Stockbridge. So that's kind of just an intro. I've got everything set up here. We can show you some front-end examples. We understand that you guys pointed out Deerfield and Lennox as some examples that you like. Mike did some great job in terms of homework and researching. We understand that ADA was a huge issue as well. That is something we pride ourselves on in terms of ADA compliance, and we have tools that help maintain that. And then we also have additional tools that can scan the website and actually correct any issues. Those are not something we scoped here, but those are some services that we have available. So it's really your time. We can show some examples. We can pull up a demonstration on the back end, or just leave it at an overview. I want to be cautious of time. I realize that there may be some folks behind me. I'm not sure, but I wanted to.
You're lost in the agenda. Yeah. So feel free to, show what you want to show. I mean, I think we should.
I think it's time wise for.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We work.
I work too, but not as hard as you guys, that's for sure.
It's quarter up.
We'll do that.
Well,
Why don't we do this? Maybe we could just do a quick demo, and then we'll set up a demo that we can give to everybody at at one of the 6:30 meetings.
All right.
Okay. All right. I think that's great. Look, I think that we've got a couple issues that town I just want you thinking about. One is really kind of availability of documents, and I want to really make sure that as agenda items are added, that there's documents are attached to the agenda item, if possible, rather than just the general agenda. I'd like, as documents pass from one committee to the next, as meetings, because we have multi-boards often involved in permitting. It'd be great if there could be a document flow that really retains those documents from conservation or planning to the select board and the various folks who are there. We also have a number of long-term projects that similar, so for example, we're looking at trying to consolidate documents from over the last 20 years for one of the environmental sites in town that we've had a stewardship program on and off for 20 years called Campusa, and having a place where the public can access historical documents. We recognize that we might need a scanning vendor or someone internally to, digitize them. But nevertheless, our goal here is to obviously make as much available to the public as possible, that's reasonable. So those are the kinds of things I'm going to really be looking at, trying to make sure we have a good solution around.
And I think a little bit Ryan, if I could, we didn't really discuss like bringing in historical records yet and stuff, because that would be a separate component. This was just the website redesign.
Yeah.
The focus was the push-out capability, that people would subscribe to the boards, committees, and departments that they want, and then any information that's posted to that page would get pushed out to the residents instead of residents having to come to the website in order to get that information.
And when you subscribe to that, can you subscribe to the board as well as like maybe keywords? For example, if I live on Hawthorne Street, so if someone typed in Hawthorne and so to subscribe, could any meeting tied to that keyword be then pushed out to that subscription list?
Caitlin, you want to go ahead and take that question?
Yeah, so in terms of keywords, that might be a little more difficult having the system scan for that, because it's really in your control to decide what you're pushing out, so that citizens aren't necessarily getting overwhelmed with information, feeling like they're getting more than they kind of bargained for. So they're going to be able to opt in to any categories that you all choose to create on the site. And then you have the ability to decide if you want to push out that notification with that associated piece of content when you're creating it and posting it to the site. You just check a box, and when you publish that content, it'll automatically go out to anybody who has subscribed to that particular topic, board, commission.
Well, but people, I mean, this literally was a request that came in yesterday, for example. There's a permit that needed to be sent to butters. One butter didn't get it. The woman was very afraid that she missed the meeting. So I'm wondering, is that something that like we're going to be able to maybe, kind of let people decide sort of, if there's a word in. So, I understand what you're saying in terms of scanning the documents that, right? Okay.
They would have to go after, like, if they're paying attention to conservation, they select conservation, and every time conservation posts a meeting, their packets, their information, everything would get pushed out to them. Okay. So it would be sort of department dependent, and I can go over that piece about what's happening.
And do you think
Letter that went out.
But we could also create keywords around maybe street names if we wanted to. I'm not sure that might be overwhelming, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got to make, we're trying to get to a point where at least now we're pushing the information out instead of historic.
So you guys met and all this, you had your meetings.
Yep.
Your recommendations with this.
Yes, and if you guys, you don't have to make a decision now. None of this would happen until we get into the next.
I know nothing about this stuff, so I'm gonna go with your recommendations.
All right, and I can, if you have any other questions for these guys.
No, but I definitely want to see it
you can
done.
ask them.
Yeah.
I can then, so we'll set up a time to actually have you guys just dedicate a meeting time to have a full demonstration, so that we don't have a time constraint. That's the only issue with the morning meetings. We do have 2 board members that have to get to work.
And Michael, when would this take place, the change?
We would be after the start of the new fiscal year, but we would get the companies to develop it in the background. And then when it's ready to go live, we go live with it.
Okay.
So that's what would happen. Do we want to do it at the next meeting?
That next,
Or do you want to have a separate meeting?
I want to talk to you a little bit about whether we should give Mungie a chance to come in and present to us too.
Right.
So let's, it may be the next meeting, but it may be 2 meetings from now.
All right.
Yeah.
So Ryan, I will be in touch about having the demo.
Okay, that sounds good. We appreciate you guys and look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
What we'll do is just run you guys
yeah.
quickly through the proposals that were submitted.
Okay.
So the proposal from Mungie Studio, which was in your, you should have received. So Mungie has gone through, they looked at Lennox, what they have, and they think that they can replicate most of the things that is on the Lennox one. It's an upfront cost of $14,800 and an annual maintenance cost of $2,700. So we're talking.
A month or annually, at the annual fee. Okay.
Annual. So that puts that contract up there at $17,000.
The first year.
$9,700 was the proposal for the same design, including support for Civic Plus. The reason why we feel Civic Plus is a platform that's been developed, run through multiple communities.
Works.
It's Great Barrington, Lennox, Dalton, not Dalton, I think Mungie has Dalton and Williamstown and us. But the ones that have the push-out features and the features we were looking for are the towns that, like I said, if you want to see one that Civic Plus is running right now, go right on to Lennox.
Yeah, no, I'm
You can
very
see the
familiar with
subscribe thing and everything else, so.
Okay, yeah, so I think close to being all set, I just lay it down.
Yep.
Okay, so this is just a couple things I just wanted to run over, and then I'll keep it really quick. If you guys have any agenda items, my position is if you want something on the agenda, other than it may be the right meeting in the next 2 or 3 meetings, it would take an extraordinary situation for that not to be honored. So I don't see that, I don't anticipate that. So if you want agenda items, that's fine. Just let me and Michael know.
Do we send them to both of you or just the chair?
And remember, we can't deliberate, so it's just,
Right.
just enough of a description of what we're going to be talking about so that the other two can be prepared. You know, any documents you want to include, I would like us to really rededicate to, if there's documents that are going to be presented at a meeting, I think they should, be in the meeting packet if at all possible. We want to try to get there. I'm going to try to get the agenda out a little bit earlier and try to write a little bit more about what it is. So if we're going to talk about, the bowl and, really what is the specific topics that we're talking about so that if folks are interested, they can come in. And then there's a whole bunch of other kind of organizational things I think that we should talk about next time when you guys aren't stressed for time. Other than that, I think that I just wanted to finally say thank you, Roxanne, for the really great hard work that you gave the town for the last 3 years, and I want to welcome Jamie to the board. I think that we've had a whole bunch of really outstanding people who've served the town and continue to. So let's plan on having a discussion of some of the process issues at the next meeting, along with some of the priorities for the year. So if you guys want to think about priorities for the year, and we can do this over 2 meetings, because some of the things that some of us talk about, maybe others will want to kind of think about and respond to. One last thing I would just like to throw out, and I don't really want to talk about now because I think it should be on the agenda, is I'd like us to consider whether when applicants bring legal counsel to meetings, that we try to get a heads up in advance so that if town administration and or this board or other boards feel it's necessary, we can arrange to have our counsel there. And similarly, if they don't give us a heads up, we may want to consider continuing some meetings so that we can have representation. I want to make sure that the playing field is even level when coming to like sort of, advice lawyers are giving to our volunteers. So, okay, I think that's good for today. Any other questions of the public? Have any comments?
And our next meeting is
Thursday.
Next Thursday
Yeah.
at
6:30.
Right. And one last thing that I plan on putting on next agenda, just so everyone knows, is if folks want to bring concerns to the meeting, I'm going to put the public comment period at the beginning of the meeting, like a number of other towns locally do. So folks don't have to wait an hour or two to give us feedback. I want to put that right at the top of the agenda of every meeting. So, if you've got an issue for us that you want to discuss, you'll be able to do it right at 6:30. Thanks and keep coming. All right. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thanks, everyone.